So Charlie Kirk was just killed for effect, not for his message, not for anything that he was saying, just for effect. Bankrolling on the fact that swaths of our population are emotionally bankrupt. They are whack ass wave riders that just like they have these weasel words and they just fucking, you know, it's compartmentalization. You can't do nothing. You're gonna get compartmentalized. You can't really do nothing about that, but you can make yourself a little bit less emotionally invested, a little bit less emotionally available. When you can already tell what people are doing, you're better. Like you're not progressive. You might like appreciate progress, but nobody's going, oh, me, I'm progressive. Like what? What are you doing? Like I'm MAGA. No. MAGA means make America great again. We don't fucking know that. What does that even mean? MAGA is split. Oh, they're split? Who's they? You're just telling everybody who voted for Trump is MAGA. Now they are splitting and you're ha ha ha, like you're celebrating. Like that shit ain't real. Being divorced from reality and emotionally bankrupt is banking on us to rip each other apart because you're going to be emotionally invested and convincing people that don't need to be convinced of shit, because if you just sit back and watch, they think that this shit is going to be advantageous. Can you tell me why this is going to make their life better? Because they have a gloating point or a point of like trolling or something like that. That's all you need to do is troll. You don't want to get to the bottom of this. You just want to troll. Okay. That is seen. If it's evident, then you can fucking be disqualified for that. I could dismiss you for that. That's the mental process. That's not So they considered that, you know, for the effect that we're going to have so many theories and there's so many little red herrings and shit that you can discredit yourself. But people acting like they're emotionally invested in something they're not, it can be seen now. You can be seen. And then the best thing to do is to become like that. Become less emotionally invested. But don't act like we are. Don't act like you are. That's the only thing. And so instead of it being advantageous for what you say, liberals, it should expose them. It's like you can take, just because it's a terrible thing, you can take it, you can make something good out of it. And that's what they got to point out, that, oh, you must be happy then. You must like this. Like you must be celebrating. And then you're going to ostracize yourself to everybody because you're going to be like, damn, Jimmy Kimmel might have been right. At this late stage in the game, after I was already so sure, you know, like it's evident, you know, that he was a tranny because they're talking about it on mainstream. Now it's evidence because they were talking about it on the mainstream. I only check into the mainstream to see what they were talking about and where they're at with shit. Not as a definitive proof that because they're talking about it, that this is, you got to be asinine to not know that the shooter was trans. At this point, but there's a possibility that they're playing on this MAGA split, you know, saying MAGA split. So it's like, oh, so you think if the shooter didn't turn out to be that guy, then you must think that it was MAGA. If you think this, then you must think that. If you say this, then you must think that. They're just like retroactively guiding us through emotional bankruptcy to divide us. And how is it going to be good for emotionally bankrupt population when the smart people make themselves less emotionally available? That's the only thing that we need to notice, is that we can do that. We can make ourselves emotionally unavailable, and we're not ducking shit, because it's not our responsibility to prove, right? Like, you don't have to prove, if somebody tells you God's imaginary, that's a presupposition or something. So like, the burden of proof is on the person saying that. You don't got to prove that. That doesn't hold true, that you got to prove that. If you're smart enough to look at that way, bet, more power. But otherwise than that, then it's like it's a ploy. It's just a fucking emotional ploy, because they know how difficult it would be for Christians to have their like an existential crisis when your God dies. You know what I mean? Like, your God is dead. Like, you just want to sit back and act like you soaking up the fucking the reaction from overturning someone's whole entire worldview. Like, you just need to go through your little cognitive dissonance. I know it takes fucking 20 years. I'm still have a little bit here and there of that. Like, it's not all the way gone yet. Like, it's but it's like, you have that which you can afford others. So you have less social anxiety, because your understanding of people with social anxiety doesn't tell them what they're not going to be able to do. It tells them at what point in time they are going to be able to do, right? So, or like things that people suffering from is just that which they can't afford the next person to have it. Doesn't it seem like letting someone's social anxieties be subdued, like to it's kind of like causing it is the reason that you have it, because like, you have to believe it. Like, to be a good deceiver, you have to believe your own lies a little bit. And so the only way that this could be advantageous for the left, just because it's so counterintuitive, is because you're emotionally invested in claims. You say, this is what we do know, and these are just claims, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. But we know that what this is about is fucking labeling this claim, labeling this what we do know. And it seems like they did due diligence, and fucking neck breathers take that. And I like neck breathers. They're nice people. Just the ones with the fucking lawyers. It's just the ones with the lawyers that you don't like. I mean, I'm going to be a neck breather at some point. Like, I mean, I'm not actually going to breathe out of my neck, but I could see it at some point in time. Cognition and everything goes down. Like, when you get older, like elderlies, more childlike, like you lose processes and functions that you have when you're just a regular adult, almost like before you were a kid again. So I don't know if I like that word neck breather so much anymore. So they probably like it, because it's like it gets the reaction. This shit is all for effect.